Come with me to a magical place where being labeled the Pork Queen is a compliment, where being nice is just a way of life, and where all leaders of the free world must pass through. Welcome to Iowa. Whether you're a current Iowan, an Iowa expat, or an Iowan at heart, this show is for you. This is the Iowa Podcast. Real Iowans, real talk, no drama. I'm Justin Brady. Christmas time is here. We're all very excited. Also, Small Business Saturday is here as well. Let's combine both today. I'm going to welcome in the studio Amara Huffine, the CEO of Madison County Chamber of Commerce. We're going to be talking about Festival of Lights, Madison County, Winterset, and also Small Business Saturday. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Tell me all about it. This is what we're going to get into. What is so special? Let's go broadly. We'll drill into the details later. But what is so special about the Festival of Lights? For those that I'll be honest. I've been to Winterset. I know all about Winterset. I had no clue what a Festival of Lights even is. So can you break that down broadly?
Absolutely. It's the epitome of a Hallmark movie. It is so magical. And I think we've kind of in today's society gotten away from Christmas parades. We have a lot of small towns who do them, and Des Moines used to do a really big one when I was a kid, but Winterset continues that tradition, and it's a great way to come and experience Winterset, but also shop local. So we have merchants that will be open starting at 5 o'clock, and what's really cool is I always feel like A Christmas Story applies here as well. When Ralphie's at the parade and they have like the animatronic display he's looking at with the BB gun in the window. So that's what our merchants do. They do some type of movement display that could be lights, that could be physical people in their window. And every year is based on a theme. So this year is a story or a Toyland Christmas. A Toyland Christmas is the theme. And so from 5 to 7, you can go around, see these awesome displays. I know ours at the Chamber will have the Winterset Ballet and dance will be doing snippets of the Nutcracker that they perform every year. And then 7:15 is when our parade starts. And what's really cool is every one of our parade floats are expected to have lights, which is why it's the Festival of Lights. So they come out, and our Winterset Parks and Rec department just nail it every year with their floats. So they'll have some type of light display. It could be Santa's workshop, or I'm hoping for Rock'em Sock'em Robots this year.
Hoping for?
Yeah, I mean, that's like the popular 80s toy, right? It's a Toyland Christmas.
Because Toyland Christmas.
Yeah.
Got
that
it.
or Cabbage Patch Kids. I could see those coming out too.
Absolutely.
So, but you'll see our floats go around the routes, which is around the courthouse twice. And then at the very end, Santa will wave his magic fingers and turn on the lights for the season. So we'll have the lights around the buildings, the courthouse, and then this year, which is new, we will have a tree lighting ceremony as well.
Yeah, let's get back to that. Let's get back to the old school, kind of take a walk down memory lane. I feel like we've kind of gotten away from all the pomp and circumstance a little bit recently.
Yeah, I agree.
Is this like Festival of Lights has been happening a while. So is this something you're always doing and trying to double down on, or are you upping the ante a little bit this year?
This is something we do every year.
Yeah.
I think the only upping that we're doing is having the tree lit. It was kind of an accident last year. I was walking through and I'm like, why do we never light this amazing pine tree on the corner?
Wait a minute, you've never lit it before?
No, nope. It's always been the buildings that are lit and the courthouse. So it kind of felt a little lackluster, and I'm like, let's just add some lights to this tree.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Santa's going to light it after the parade?
Yes.
And so people are coming with their blankets, and there's food, I'm assuming. They have access to hot cocoa and food while this whole thing's going on.
Yeah, and that's the other great thing about this event is we support small businesses in that way. You know, we have a lot of businesses who are not a brick and mortar around the square. So we have 6 vendors who are small businesses that will be serving gingerbread man, royal icing cookies, kettle corn, gotta have the hot chocolate and hot cider. And then we'll have our Earlham business, Beans and Beignets, has a food truck, so they'll be out there as well.
You mentioned not all businesses in Winterset are a brick and mortar. What does that mean? There are some businesses that are just operating out of their homes. They don't have a spot on the square, and so you're giving them kind of space to operate during the festival?
Yep, exactly. Yes, we have a lot of, businesses who operate, like She Bakes is a great one. She operates in her house baking cookies.
Oh, sure.
Nick's Kettle Corn is a home-based business, but he's out selling his kettle corn throughout the year. And this is just, it's kind of a nice little spotlight of our small businesses, which then we elevate in December. We have a winter solstice market, which again gives our businesses who don't have a brick and mortar space to sell their Christmas wares.
Very cool. So I want to go back to something you said that is a little crazy in a good way, You're doing Nutcracker scenes in your window. Now,
yes.
The Chamber of Commerce, for those that haven't been to Winterset, is right on the square.
Yes.
You have like a little corner thing, big glass windows right on the square. You're walking us through like a Christmas story, and there's like, things happening in the windows. Again, downtown used to have that. Like downtown Des Moines used to have that. It doesn't have it anymore.
Right.
And so what are you doing in the window? You're having who's doing it? What's happening in the window? And this is like a live kind of thing? Like, what is this?
Yeah, it's really cool because it's local dancers. We have Winterset Ballet and Dance Studio that is doing it, and they perform the Nutcracker every year.
Mm-hmm.
So they come in, and we have the best windows for this, and we actually have like stage lighting as well.
Really?
So we shut off our lights, and all you see are the stage lights. Yes. So it's like they're on stage, and they just perform different scenes from the Nutcracker. You won't see the entire show, but it's a very good snippet to see the talent. And it encourages people to buy tickets to support them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have that's so how many people are generally in this window then?
I mean, it's
they're
very
going
small.
The whole time? Like a couple hours?
Yep, couple of hours, exactly.
That's awesome.
They stop at 7, but it's like 4 to 5 kids. I really love when you have the Sugar Plum Fairy. She's usually doing variations by herself. Or you have Clara with the Nutcracker doll who's in there as well. It's just really, really cool.
That is really, really cool. So this you have, I think, covered wagon rides too, right?
We
Tell
do.
me a little bit about what that is. Kind of like basically a hay rack ride idea, but during the winter festival of lights.
Well, yes. It started as carriage rides, and carriage rides have been a little harder to find. And they're very limited as well. This is something that is free. So we get a very long line of people who want to participate in this activity. So we have actually partnered with Wildwood Hills.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that's why we have the covered wagon. It's like an 1800s covered wagon. That's kind of their vibe. And they come out and, do a little loop around the courthouse, and then you can exit. And the really cool thing is they do this for free for us. So, anyone who's on that ride, I encourage giving a donation to Wildwood Hills.
Absolutely.
They're fantastic.
Great organization.
Really good partner of ours as well. And they're located in St. Charles. They're located in Madison County.
Wait, hold on. I never made that connection.
Yeah.
So Wildwood Hills is really close to Winterset.
Yes, it is.
Oh, but how far of a drive is it from there?
15 minutes,
what?
maybe. Mm-hmm.
I never made that connection till just now. I was like, Wildwood Hills, that's good. They're making the trek to go. Oh, yeah, they're right there.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We should probably have them in the future. It's a great organization.
Yeah, and they also do cover bridge festivals too for us too. So they'll come in like at the festival in October. They'll come and prepare like Dutch oven wares and cook over an open fire with their covered wagon. They participate in our parade for Cover Bridge Festival too with their riding. So
Festival of Lights bleeds into Small Business Saturday.
Yes, it does.
As well. And so these things are kind of combined in a way. You have the festival on November 29th?
Yes.
Right? And then the Small Business Saturday is November 30th.
Yes.
Of course, obviously need to support your local businesses, everybody. Are all the vendors open? Because this is, I'll be honest, even in Des Moines, it's kind of a challenge. You have local vendors. I want to go to local vendors. Mm-hmm. I want to go. But sometimes local vendors, you make it hard for us because they're, it's like, well, we open at 10, we close at 4, and we take a 2-hour lunch. And I'm like, well, come on, So is this going to be a special event where during the festival and during Small Business Saturday, they extend their hours, everybody's open? What does that look like?
For the most part, most of my merchants will be open for Festival of Lights. They may not participate in the lighted displays. But
sure,
most of them are open. I think the only one off the top of my head that isn't is the Quilt Museum, and that's just because it's hard to have people come into their museum.
And that's not necessarily a vendor either. It's
exactly.
Yeah.
They have a small gift shop, but it's hard to get people in the gift shop and then feel like they can go through the museum. So they'll probably be closed. But that's what I love about Winterset and Madison County is that these businesses show up. They work hard. They are appreciative of every customer that comes through the door, and they want to be able to be supported, and they know that their success makes Madison County and Iowa successful as well.
Absolutely. So how much participation do you have from all the local businesses as far as the displays in the windows? You mentioned that they all have these, lit displays that are all unique. Toyland is the Toyland. You said Toyland Christmas is the theme. How much participation is it? Is it most of them?
Yeah, I would say most of them,
Really?
probably 75%. And again, the ones that aren't participating are really just because their windows aren't really built that way,
Right.
or that they
That
have
makes sense.
their display already set up and it's just hard to move. Like one that comes to mind is Harvest Creek. They never participate, but that's because they have an intense way to get to their front windows.
Oh,
So, but it's still magical in there. You go in there and they've got all the lights on. They're kind of like a antique type store with a little bit of Salem witch trials in it, which is really cool. But the products make it very magical as you walk in. It's a very warm environment. So even if they're not participating, you go inside, you still get that Christmas feeling.
yeah. Give us an idea of what we should expect for those that haven't been to Winterset. Like, what do the vendors look like? What are they selling? Give us a broad overview. If you're really going to pitch, come spend some money, drop some serious cash in Winterset during the Small Business Saturday and the Festival of Lights. What is that pitch? What are some of the stores? What are some of the unique products we can get there?
Yeah, I think Winterset is unique in itself because we have small businesses that really specialize in what they do. We don't have someone that's at the table trying to do everything. We have one business that does this well and another that does this well. And they work really well together to make sure that they're not carrying the same product.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's clever.
So like Harvest Creek is a great example. Again, they do, they're kind of witchcraft based a little bit. So they import stuff from Salem, sometimes even Ireland or England. Oh yeah, I'm serious. They are amazing to work with. So you'll find like witch brooms and witch balls. Oh, absolutely.
That's hilarious. Now, is this like a cult kind of stuff or more like fun?
This
like
is
witch
fun.
Kind of like a.
This is witch aesthetic.
Like aesthetic.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're not
got
going to go in and be able, I think, to conjure a spell by any means, but you're going to go in and be able to find like a cinnamon broom.
Yeah, okay. It's more like folklore, less like demon worship or
exactly.
something.
Yes, yep. And then you have
some of the listeners are like,
they're like, do we want to go to Winterset?
Maybe we're going to go the opposite direction.
Yes.
So no, it's all fun stuff.
Yeah, and they have toys for kids as well, and tea blends and coffee. And then we have like Village Bootery. Village Bootery has specialized as a shoe store for generations. They're, I think, on their third owners, as far as I know, the long-standing ownership in this. They just had a transfer of ownership to someone that actually used to be in my position. So again, that's like what's really cool is this is a great example of someone that used to serve as the chamber who moved out of town, came back to Winterset because they loved it and they wanted to raise their kids, and then bought a small business.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you're going to get a lot of passion from these owners. Another one is Pine Creek. They do home goods, and they're amazing owners, Bill and Larry. And again, they have also with the home goods, they have slipper socks, so they're great for gifting. They also have like seasoning and hot cider stuff that you can bring for your get for your holiday parties. So, and then one of our probably most infamous stores is Rehome. She does a lot of sales through Hy-Vee, especially in Ankeny, and you can find her store right there on the corner.
Rehome.
What
does that mean?
It's another home goods store. I shouldn't say another because she's so different than Pine Creek. Yeah. I would say she's more of the aesthetic of like Modern Farmhouse, but
which is super hot.
Oh yes,
Joanna Gaines, man, I tell you, she lit the whole country on fire with that
This is the
aesthetic.
Winterset version of Joanna Gaines for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, Elise Myers is a wonderful business owner and knows what's hot right now.
Very
sure.
cool. Now, you mentioned that she sells through Hy-Vee. Like, is she making this stuff or curating this stuff?
I think both.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
And then she also has like some small apparel stuff and candles. But yeah, you could find a dining room table in there or just a little sign for your house.
See, that's great because one of the things I tell a lot of small business owners is don't stop trying to compete with Walmart and Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Like Walmart and Amazon, Target, their model is we carry all the stuff, but there's nothing unique. It's not curated. It's not special. It's just like if I want a can of hairspray or want a vacuum cleaner, that's where I'm going to go.
Yep. It's convenient.
But I don't, when I want something unique, when I want something custom, I'm going to go to a local retailer.
Yeah.
And so it drives me crazy when local retailers try to carry everything that Walmart and Amazon and Target do. I'm like, I'm not going to you for that crap. Like, I want to come to you for unique, curated stuff. That's what I want. But I feel like small business owners try to feel the pressure to compete with the big things.
Yeah.
And it's like, no one even wants that to begin with. We don't even want to go to Walmart for that stuff.
No, that's very true.
You know what I mean? Like, so I'm glad to hear that Winterset really is like getting it.
Yes.
Now, you know, obviously this is important because I think Winterset has had a little bit of a population decrease in the past 5 years or so, right? And so as a Chamber of Commerce, what are the big challenges in 2025? Like, what are the things you're focused on? Because I know you're always laser focused on giving all your members more value. So what are some of the things that are really on your radar growing Winterset in 2025, growing that business community? Yeah.
Well, I want to go to the Winterset thing. I got to say, Madison County supervisors and the Winterset city and really all of our city leadership for Earlham, Truro, you know, all of them do a really good job of being focused on how to be successful in the future. And I think Winterset has a lot of unfun things, like they're getting ready to do a wastewater treatment plant.
You call that an unfun?
Unfun. I mean, it's not fun, right?
It's necessary, but
exactly.
unfun.
But they're being mindful in starting that process, you know. So they do a really good job of looking at what do we need to continue to grow. I think, you know, the chamber and the board of directors are really trying to assist with those plans. As I look to the challenges in 2025, they would be the economy. You know, we definitely saw with the election, our small businesses, things slowed, you know, and it was just people hold on to their money. It's a very natural cycle. We see this every 4 years. But again, really getting the word out, like today, why it's important to shop local. You know, we are very fortunate in Winterset that we have a blossoming square. We have, I think, one vacancy right now as far as businesses go.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
One vacancy. That's incredible.
And it wasn't that way like 20 years ago.
Was not.
The chamber and the community really worked together to make it what it is. And we have a phenomenal tourism and marketing manager at the chamber, Teddy Yeager, who does a wonderful job of promoting the importance and the magic of coming to the bridges in Madison County and all of the great things. So, you know, we got to continue getting the word out about traveling and seeing us. I think the other thing that is a challenge is social media. It always takes, I mean, it takes a lot of energy. And if you look at these small businesses specifically, they're a one-man show, you know, so the chamber looks at how do we balance that fine line of supporting our small businesses and promoting them, knowing that we're not a marketing firm. Yeah. You know, and it's a hard line to balance because we always feel like we could do more, but we have our own capacities because we're a nonprofit as well. So those are the two challenges that we're going to find a way to navigate.
That's interesting because the population decline is normal throughout the entire country.
Yes.
Every small town is facing population to decline. I think it's well, not every, but I think it's over 52% of rural. Yeah, I wrote this down. 52% of rural counties are experiencing population loss during the last decade. So, and I remember being a kid, being in Winterset. Pretty sure it was like 50% occupancy rate. I'm sure people technically owned a lease, but they just weren't doing anything with the space. Yeah. So the fact that the whole country is declining in population, people are leaving small towns, but you've actually increased the occupancy rate of your square. Yes. Is kind of freaking crazy. Yes, That's incredible. Yeah. And that's what people want when they come to a small town. They don't want to come to a small ghost town.
No, absolutely.
They want to come to a small town that has cute local stores. That's what people want. And so, like, you know, to have that vibrant one vacancy rate is really great. So do you have a lot of people that will come for the Festival of Lights and then stay there, and then, you know, the next day do Small Business Saturday? Obviously, Winterset's a really fast drive to Des Moines. It's really easy to get here. But from anybody outside the state that wants to go to a new small town, kind of take it all in, are there Airbnbs? Are there, you know? Yeah,
we definitely run into where we get both, where they plan the trip and they're like, wow, there's a lot to do here. Or they show up and they're like, wow, there's a lot to do here. And we're very fortunate. We have 2 hotels and a lot of amazing Airbnbs. A lot of them are members. So if anyone is interested, you could go to exploremadisoncounty.com And what's really cool is we have two websites. We have MadisonCounty.com, which is based on our chamber. You know, that is a chamber facing our small businesses. If you're interested in starting a business or want to become a member, that's where you find that information. But if you're interested in visiting us, ExploreMadisonCounty.com has everything. And it doesn't just, our members get more notice and more description and more photos, but it shows every business that's available because that purpose of that website is to drive traffic to Madison County. So yeah, you can certainly find Airbnbs on there, our hotels. We even work with Hotel Greenfield that's a member. Greenfield's about a 30-minute drive to the west, and it's got a historic hotel right there. So if we're full, you can always go to Greenfield. And like you said, it's an easy drive from West Des Moines or Des Moines.
Did you guys have a radio station in Winterset too, like a popular? I thought, didn't you used to or something? What am I thinking of?
I know Murray does, and they're a partner with us.
Oh, is it Murray?
Yeah.
Got it. You also have, like, during the summer months, I want to talk about this a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bridges of Madison County.
Yeah.
Like, that's, like, super famous. And then, obviously, the John Wayne Museum. Does this kind of draw most of the summer tourism? Because one of the industries that most people don't, I'll be honest, I probably wouldn't have thought of this either. One of your industries is tourism.
Yeah, it's our main industry.
It's your main industry.
Main industry.
So is that the Bridges and the John Wayne Museum pretty much driving most of that?
Yeah, and then we have a couple of other anecdotal, like Hinterland brings a lot of people to St. George, to Madison County.
That's right.
We have great museums. We have the Iowa Quilt Museum, which was started by Marianne Fons.
The
Iowa Quilt Museum.
Oh, quilt.
Yeah. But that was started by Marianne Fons of Fons and Porter. And she was is still big in the quilting. So sometimes it's so cool because we get people that come in to see the quilt museum. We have a quilt shop called Peaceworks Quilts. And then they might run into Marianne, who's just walking her dog, and they're fangirling Marianne.
That's so funny.
Yes. Yeah. So that's really cool. And then we have, because of Marianne and a hardworking community, we also have a theater that provides, it's a second run theater. So we get really good movies coming out, like Wicked is coming to our theater in December 13th and 14th. So we have done an excellent job when you talk about population decrease of trying to find assets, because we noticed our median age in Madison County is 38 years old. So we're going to lose those kids as they go into college and they want to go into the big world. Our goal is to get them back when they want to raise their kids in Winterset and providing entertainment and activities for them.
And that's actually a thing here in Iowa. I think they call them boomerang kids or something like that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, because they come back. Yeah.
Well, we did, I'm how old am I now? 42. We went to college up in Minneapolis, my wife and I. Yeah. And then we also came back. I mean, it's like I was talking to a guy at the Y. I go to the Wellmark Y downtown, and he was like, I don't remember where he lived before this, but he said, I came back. My family's here. It's cheap and safe. What else do you want? Yeah. I feel like people got to go see the big city, maybe. Yes. Got to go see some, and then they're
experience it.
Oh, this is just more expensive. And, every time you talk to someone in a bigger city, they're like, what do you do there? Well, what do you do in your city? It's like, what do you do in Iowa? What do you do in your, we go to the bars, we go to the movies, and we go to we go to shops and stuff. I'm like, yeah, like, dude, like, we have the same thing. Right. Like, it's just not as much saturation. Yes. And you're probably going to have more Michelin stars or something in New York City. Right. But, you can always travel to those places. Exactly. But if you good luck living there. Right. Like, holy cow. I don't know how people do it. What during the summer, like the Bridges thing. Yeah. Maybe this makes me a really bad Iowan. I've never done the bridge tour. Sure. And so do you, is it a day thing? You stay in Winterset and you go drive around and check out, like, what is this? Yeah, well. Like all the listeners are like, dude, what is wrong with you? How do you, I don't know. No, we get this question a lot. Yeah. Yeah. So you start at the chamber first off. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Come in and visit us. We have a really good staff of amazing women. But we have a map and we can give you directions based on where you're going after you're done with the bridges. The bridges tour themselves, and there are most of them are on gravel roads. It takes about 2.5 hours. Really? Yeah. Jeez, so you could get that done in a day, and then you go see John Wayne. And John Wayne, we have his birthhood home. He was born in Winterset, and then we have a museum as well that has a lot of artifacts from John Wayne. It's got his Pontiac that he drove around in California. Really? Yes. Okay. His kids are tied to the museum, so they're really good partners of that museum. And then again, if you're interested in quilts, shopping,
We can tell you where to shop, where to eat, all of that stuff. So it could be, I have an afternoon and I just want to see the bridges, or it could be 3 days. We have plenty of stuff to do.
You're kind of operating in two capacities, right? You're operating as the Chamber of Commerce, but also kind of the tourism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I should go back because my mom listens to this too, but she's going to be like, you have been there. Yes. No, I just was a kid. I don't remember much of it. How many bridges are there?
Yes, there's 6 now. 5 are historically accurate. One of them was arson twice, most recently in 2017,
right,
and rebuilt in 2019.
That was a huge
Cedar.
News story.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How much of it was lost then? You
all
said
of it.
All of it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
I didn't know
it was
that.
already a rebuilt bridge. So, I mean, we're talking steel and all of that. It wasn't a wooden bridge when it was arson the second time. So
when you restore it, you have to basically go back to original spec and try to rebuild the way it was. This is kind of the idea.
We decided it's a replica for sure.
Yeah.
So the
I don't know how else you do it.
Right. I mean, it would be very costly to build it the way that they did in the 1800s.
Yeah.
But cedar is really cool because you get to see the difference in technology and how structurally sound they have to be. Because I know like Hollowell, which is I think the oldest and longest bridge, you can have 2 tons of weight on that. That adds up fast, right? You can't have 100 people on that bridge at one time. Cedar, you can have a car, you can have a camper, as long as it fits the height limit. But you can have some serious weight on that bridge because of the steel structure they've put in place.
Do you have security then on these bridges since they're only 5 to 6?
Yeah.
And one was arsoned.
Yep.
Like, do you have like some type of measures in place so it doesn't keep happening? Because copycatting is a thing. When one idiot does something, all the other idiots feel like they got to do it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Especially with the notoriety that happens.
I don't know what you can talk about, but you have some measures in place?
Yeah, we do. This has been a priority even before Cedar was arsoned the second time. You know, they got security cameras on most of the bridges.
Sure. And
those that aren't, we're working on grants to get the rest of them with security cameras. And then we also have fire suppressant systems.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
It's just like, I remember reading about that in the news and it just breaks your heart.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
So the 5 to 6 bridges, I'm assuming, are pretty spread out, which is why it takes a couple hours to see them all.
Yeah, it's about an 80-mile trip. To see all of them.
And do you see a lot of people coming from the country, like the entire United States? Because the bridges in Madison County, they're, for those that don't know, are actually a big draw.
Yeah.
So do you see a bunch of people coming from around the country to see these, kind of making a day trip of it?
Even internationally.
What?
Yes, we get.
Really?
We had people from Paris this year. Last year we had a girl from Australia, and it was her bucket list trip.
What?
And one of my staff drove her around, and she had her books, Bridges in Madison County book, dog-eared with all the scenes, crying as she was here to visit them. Yeah, I mean, that's
cool.
Infamous. And not only just with the bridges, but you have the John Wayne too. John Wayne is very big in Japan and Ireland as well, because The Quiet Man was filmed in Ireland.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
John Wayne is big in Japan.
They want to come see the American Cowboy.
Of course.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Right.
Yeah, that is like Americana. When you go over to Europe, it's like I've never been to Japan, but they're like, the American barbecue.
Yeah.
And American Cowboy.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly.
That's super fun. Now, wait a minute. Now, you took this lady from Australia around?
Yep.
Is this a thing you do? Like a white glove service for people coming from Japan and Australia?
Not as much as it's hard to do. I mean, the downside of what we do is we don't have an Uber, right?
How would people do
we don't
that?
have taxi cabs, so
because people coming from big cities, they don't have cars, they don't even have driver's licenses.
Right.
So how would that work?
It's a case by case basis. Sure. You know, we have some that may know someone that has a car or around. You know, we also we do personal tours too, my staff, so they could even give us a call and say we want a personal tour where we have a tour guide in our car, and we have tour guides that go and do 2-hour tours, and you see about 3 bridges and some other historical assets, like, you know, George Washington Carver spent some time in Winterset before he ended up in Indianola, then up to Ames. I'm blanking on his name right now. George Stout.
Oh, good job. Nice job.
Yeah, from World War II, he went over to save some of the artworks the Nazis stole. He spent time in Winterset too, so we have a monument for him.
So, okay. So international, for our international audience, all 20 of you or something, I don't know how many there are. If you want to come to the bridge, see the bridges of Madison County, you don't have a car because you're from a bigger city, call the chamber
Yep.
And you guys will help them figure stuff out.
Well, yeah, that's
really?
what yeah,
that
absolutely.
is cool.
Yep.
I mean, we just did this. We were in Vienna last week for, people listen to this show. We had 2 fill-in guests.
Yeah.
Obviously, go back and listen to those. Jim and Jensen both had different shows. Please go listen to that. Really, really awesome shows. We were over in Vienna, and we wanted to go to Salzburg and hit a couple little Austria towns.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we did. We hired a driver, and he took us around and showed us all these places and said, here's where this thing happened. Here's where Mozart was born.
Yeah.
And so that's really cool. You kind of think when you're in a different country, in a different spot, you don't really know the lay of the land. You don't know the local customs and cultures.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And so having that ability to call you guys and kind of schedule a white glove little tour.
Yeah. Yep.
Does it come with champagne in the back?
No.
We can.
But we have wonderful wineries we'll drop you off at.
I'm just going to add that to one of the 2025 challenges here.
Yes.
Champagne in the back. Amara, the CEO of Madison County Chamber of Commerce. Obviously, Festival of Lights happens November 29th, and Small Business Saturday happens November 30th. Can you plug that website once more so people can find you easily?
Absolutely. ExploreMadisonCounty.com is where you go for all of our tourism information.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the Iowa Podcast. A pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
And to my fellow Iowans, Iowa expats, and Iowans at heart, thanks for listening and subscribing to the Iowa Podcast.